Today, we're spotlighting a remarkable career journey inside ISSA, but we're not giving away the identity just yet. 5 years ago, the individual you're about to meet walked through our doors as a college intern. Today, she or he holds a leadership role that influences teams, projects, and members across the entire association. The rise has been fast, focused, and earned, powered by curiosity, initiative, and a willingness to say yes when new opportunities appeared. And now you can see who it is. Katrina Brown, welcome to the program. Did we make you sound good enough?
I think so. I think so.
Well, it's great to have you on Straight Talk. For those that don't know this, Katrina and I were talking offline that we'll never watch this episode ourselves because we don't like to see ourselves on camera. Is that true, Katrina?
That is very true. It's more that I don't like to see or hear my voice on camera.
I hear that all the time from a lot of people, but thank you for joining. Let's get to know you a little bit. So I have a couple of easy questions that you should know the answers to. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. So the first easy question, what's your first job ever?
My first job ever. Do you mean like legally paid or under the table paid?
Let's hear both of them.
So my first job ever would have been babysitting neighborhood kids up the street. Just cash for hanging out after school. I was like 14. And then my first actual, like legally paid taxes coming out, I worked at a title company. My mom knew some people. I was looking to get a job, save up some money to head off to university. And it was a really easy job. I took their documents, their paper copy documents, took staples out of it, and scanned it into a computer, which definitely dates me because I don't think people really do that anymore.
Maybe not. Now listen, if anyone knocks on the door, maybe it's the labor police looking to do something about your first job with the cash under the table. So, all right. So now that we're confessing stuff, that's good. What's your favorite hobby?
Ooh, that's very difficult. Can I give two?
I guess now we're breaking the rules here, but go ahead. Give us two hobbies.
Okay, so my favorite less leisurely hobby is going hiking. Anywhere, anytime, preferably a mountain, but also, flat walking's just fine. And then like indoor relaxing kind of hobby is putting Legos together.
Wait,
Yes,
you said Legos?
Legos.
Huh. Okay. I think of that. I guess that is kind of a big deal, isn't it? There's even a show about Legos.
There is.
Lego Masters.
Yes. Yes, there is. I'm not at that level.
Well,
Um,
you got
it's a
time. You're a young lady.
I do have time. That takes incredible focus. Um,
Yeah, it doesn't interest me at all. I tell you that. The Lego thing. Some in my family like them, and I do like to watch the show to see the disasters that can happen, but that's another story. All right, another personal question. What's your favorite food?
oh goodness. Can I give a food group because it can change? But I would say like Mexican food is probably my favorite. Um, Most specifically chips and salsa. I am much more of a snacker or girl dinner type of person. But that would be the realm of my favorite.
So when you go to a Mexican restaurant and you sit down and they bring the chips and salsa, do you fill up on that first?
I mean, sort of,
Hmm.
but this is America. We go hard. So,
It's a problem when they or you go to a restaurant, they bring out a bread basket. It's like now you eat all that, and then you order your dinner. Maybe we should order dessert first. What do you think about that?
ooh, I actually like it. I like
Okay.
the idea of dessert first, little
Yeah.
savory afterwards. Yeah.
Okay, you're invited over to dinner to someone's house. What's the food you hate the most?
Ooh, I don't know if it's really hate, but many of our staff members would be able to tell you that I will go hard in discussion of how disgusting oysters are. Like, why is that a thing that we do? It just kind of. Kind of gross to me.
Oh, I'm sure it's the sliminess of them that it could be part of the reason why you don't like oysters.
Yeah.
So, all right, last personal question. What's your favorite vacation spot?
Ooh, that's difficult. I really like going to newer places, but probably my favorite vacation thus far, um, is probably the trip I took to Washington State, and we hit the three national parks there. That was super fun.
We have learned a lot about Katrina Brown. She likes to get paid under the table. She likes to build Legos. Mexican food's her favorite, the chips and salsa. No oysters and new places for vacation. Did I get it right?
Yeah, yeah,
Without
that's
any notes. How about that?
yeah.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about where you live, your family, some personal information you'd like to share with us today.
Okay. I live in Chicago. I've been here for going on 3 years. So that's fun. My family lives in Kalamazoo. That's where I was born and raised in Michigan. Um, they're great. I mean, overarchingly, I have a very large family, extended, but as of late, everyone's kind of dispersed. They're having kids and their families are expanding. But I have a niece and nephew now, which is also amazing. I think aunt is possibly my favorite role.
So, did you really come to ISSA as a college intern?
Yes, I was in grad school. And do you want the whole story of
Let's
how I
hear it. Tell us. Go for it.
So I was in grad school for a master's in public health, and I was working at a hospital at the time as like a front desk receptionist, kind of checking in patients. And I was checking my school email one day, and it popped through. They were asking for interns for a paid internship with GBAC, and I decided, you know what? The worst that can happen is they say no. And I'm ready for a change and I want to get some experience more closely related to public health, which sounds a little odd, but when you're checking in patient, that's all you're doing in a hospital. It doesn't feel very related to public health. So GBAC seemed like a great opportunity. I emailed them back. I think I talked to um, Steve twice, and then he was like, You've got the internship, and it lasted 6 months, and then got hired full time, and I've been here ever since.
Now, you dropped a couple of names there that you didn't explain. What is GBAC? What is
Yeah.
GBAC?
GVAC is the Global Biorisk Advisory Council, and they provide accreditation for facilities in infectious disease prevention protocols.
And where is GBAC located?
I mean, everywhere. Anyone can get
No,
the
I'm
accreditation.
trying to lead you to say it's
I
part of
mean,
ISSA.
oh yeah, it's part of ISSA, of course. Yes,
Of course. Well, some might not know that. They might see, yeah,
that's true. That's true. I'm making assumptions.
yeah. There could be someone in Antarctica that doesn't know where GBAC, what GBAC is. And you mentioned Steve. Who's Steve?
Steve Earhart used to be on our team.
Mhm.
He was my boss and leader over in the GBAC division.
Yeah, good guy. Good guy. So I'm glad he hired you or brought you on as an intern.
Yeah.
Now, when you look back at that first day when you're an intern, what stands out the most? And did you ever imagine you would be here today as what's your title?
Director of operations.
Now, I'm not very smart, Katrina, but I think an intern and a director of operations are two very different things. Talk about that. What was your what the heck is happening moment?
Like when I first got here. Um, well, first I didn't really exactly know what I had signed up for. I vaguely knew what GBAC did. I had looked at the website. And then we had a couple of calls, and I was still like, I'm not exactly sure. I know that we're helping people, but oh my goodness, here we go. And, very quickly picked up on what we were supposed to be doing, which was reviewing documents to see if these facilities that were submitting for the accreditation had the right plans in place for infectious disease prevention. And if they didn't, we would coach them through that. which was very exciting at the time because that was 2020. So very big, very much so help made me feel like I was helping in a situation that all of us were in that was pretty dire and pretty traumatizing on a global scale. Um, but yeah, I would say the thought was, am I doing this right? Is it good? What am I doing? And then as we got in, it progressively was like, okay, how do we make it better? How do we do it better? How do we keep this functioning kind of thing? If that makes sense.
It makes sense now. You mentioned in 2020 you were part of something, you were helping. What does that mean to you, helping others like that? That made an impact on you, didn't it?
It did. I think one thing that comes to all of us is when we're doing something, we don't actually, even if it is helping people, it doesn't always feel like there's a lot of helping. And then I would talk to people about what I was doing, and they were like, oh my goodness, I didn't
Hmm.
know people were out here doing this too. You're actually like really helping the public. And like that felt really good. And then talking to the members and the individuals that were going through the accreditation and their struggles, I think made them feel heard and also like made me feel like I had something to give in a moment where most of us were like, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing. And it was very much so a reactive state that we were in globally speaking. Like, I don't think there's very many moments in history when globally we can say that we're all in the same situation and in this, I don't know, but we're going to react and we're going to keep going. And that felt really good to be part of that and part of helping people
Hmm.
feel heard and feel helped and like they were also contributing because all I was doing is guiding people, right? Like, here's the things you can do. And what that meant to the people on the other end and what they could do and how they made their employees feel safe and their visitors to their facilities feel safe. Like that was wonderful in a time where we so desperately needed normal.
And how long were you an intern during that process?
Only 6 months was
Okay.
I an intern, and then I was in the analyst role for
That
2 years.
sounds important. Analyst.
Yeah, so the internship kind of went into an analyst, which what we were doing was analyzing the
Hmm.
documents regularly and even analyzing our processes and the needs that were out there so that we could provide better education materials to these particular members.
Okay. The pandemic ended. GBAC is still doing well, still helping, but the urgency that you experienced early on has subsided to some degree. We never know what's coming next, do we? That must be part of the conversation that happened.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what's coming next. It is pretty typical for pandemics to last around 5 years.
Hmm.
We kind of ended the panic and turned it more into a universal risk in many parts of the world, though that was kind of slowly as you go across the different countries in different regions of the world. Um, and so, like, it's always good to have G back as a plan, but as things shift back to normal, the the fight and the need to still teach them these things in a context that doesn't feel reminiscent of the collective trauma that the pandemic was. Um, and that has had to be part of the conversation, since things kind of progressively got better, really starting mostly in 2022 and 2023, you saw things really going back to normal for most people.
Yeah. Some find talking about the pandemic to be a little depressing. So let's move on.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's good information. Now, talk about now what helped you get to your current role. And I'm sure you're not done, director of operations. One day you're going to be dominating the world. Who knows? But but
Oh,
what got you here? What would you credit it to?
I mean, one, curiosity and the need to be involved. Um, and the people that supported me through that, right? And were open to me asking questions and getting involved. I would credit that. Um, I would honestly, most of my success in life has been because other people were willing to support me or saw me and believed in me. And then I was able to do the things that I do best and flourish in that, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. So let me ask this question. What is it that what's part of your personality or your being that others saw that made that happen? Where they helped you to flourish.
Um, I mean, I think that there's one, an openness to get involved and help other people feel involved. And um, also wanting things to be better, to be excellent, if that makes sense. Like, I want us to do things right. I want it to be something that's incredibly valuable for our members and then their staff and then their guests. The public health is really where a lot of this kind of comes from. Like, that's a passion of mine. Obviously, I went and got my master's for it. And that kind of bleeds into that. Like, it's in everything you do, everything you experience. That's public health. And what we do here, whether people see a direct connection or not, is for public health, right? And I am passionate about that. I am passionate about helping people. And I think that that comes through in my attitude when I get involved in things, if that makes sense. Sorry, that's apparently my new catchphrase.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
It's validation. No, it makes sense. 100%. And that's what ISSA is all about is public health and making things healthy surfaces, healthy air. So I can see why it's a good fit for you. But if you could, do you have any regrets? If you could go back and change something, would you change anything or are you good where you're at?
Um, I've thought about that a lot because there's been many things that have happened in my life that would have put me on a different
Mhm.
trajectory if that hadn't happened. However, I'm very pleased with where I'm at in my life, where I'm at in my career, where I'm at personally. So I can't really say that I have like a lot of regrets. I have things that I wish maybe wouldn't have happened, but I've also taken those things and turned them into a strength or an opportunity. So I can't say that I really have regrets.
If that makes sense.
If
You forgot to say that, Katrina.
I was trying to like break it off.
Yeah, too funny. So you're good where you're at. You've succeeded. ISSA values you. You value what you're doing for the world, really. You think about we're a global association. What are your next steps, your career plans from here? Any thoughts?
Honestly, I don't have um, a strict plan. Like, I want to keep growing. I want to keep learning. I want to expand myself and my team and others that come into my life. But I don't know. I kind of gave up really planning things when I turned 25. I figured by then, if I didn't have the things that I was planning for my life, I should probably just like see where it takes me.
All right. Maybe it'll take you on a nice vacation somewhere you've never been before. Maybe
It's very true.
that's it. All right, so we're about out of time, but I do want to ask one final question. A lot of young professionals could be watching this program right now. They're starting out their career. They might be wondering what's next for them. What can they hope for? What's some advice you would offer any young individual starting out or maybe early in their career to help them along? What would you tell them?
Um, it might sound a little crude, but I tell people to do it scared and be annoying. And what I mean by that is you're never gonna just know exactly what's expected from you. You're never going to know the exact right step. And it's always going to be a little nerve-wracking, especially as you go up in leadership and decision making. And then the be annoying is ask questions. Just ask questions. Um, just people are so much more open to questions than you realize. And I know that sometimes with leaders that are higher than you, it can come off as a little scary to ask them questions and how they got where they were going to do it. do it. People love talking about themselves and their experiences, which not in like a selfish way, but that's what they know. So yeah, do it scared, be annoying.
And that makes sense. Katrina, it's been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit better. I know we've done trade shows, we've worked together in the past, but keep up the good work. And for those watching, you can be like Katrina. You can be an intern and then become director of something, right?
Yes, you can. You absolutely can.